Hey guys, it's August 22nd, which means it's time to review The Fault in Our Stars. But before we start this review, take a look at this. This story introduces us to a stricken 16-year-old girl named Hazel Grace, who was 12, had a CAT scan, and it was revealed that she had thyroid cancer, and that will change her life forever. She does not really have many friends due to her condition, and after so much loneliness, her parents finally decide that it's time for her to join a support group, which at first Hazel neglects to go to, since she says that she is alright and that she only has a few days till she dies. She went anyways and met a guy named Augustus, or Gus as people call him, and they become friends immediately after they meet. So after they become friends, Gus asks her, "Hey, do you want to come to my house?" And just before that, this is the first joke of the entire movie. Hazel notices that Gus is smoking, and then she asks him, "Why do you smoke?" And then he's like, "Hazel Grace, I'm not really smoking, it's just a cliche." And we also learned that Gus was diagnosed with osteosarcoma, from which he became an amputee and lost his leg. So when they reach Gus's basement, then they both chat with each other about their views on cancer. On the other hand, Hazel recommends that Gus reads a sensitive book called An Imperial Affliction, which is about a young girl named Anna who has been diagnosed with cancer just like Hazel, because she wants him to know how she feels about cancer. So he agrees to read her book, and then a few days later he finishes the book, and he is frustrated when he finds out that the book ends without a resolution. So he continuously asks Hazel what happens, like did the last pages of the book rip off or something, like what happened? And even Hazel starts to show interest in what happened at the end. So she tells him about the author, whose name is Peter Van Houten, who immediately after the book was published, he went to Amsterdam and no one has ever heard of him ever since. So then, another few days later, and Gus tells her that he tracked down the assistant of Peter Van Houten, and she has agreed to take them to Amsterdam, Europe. Hazel is happy and excited at first, but her parents keep rejecting. Her parents are concerned about the trip to Amsterdam due to the fact that she has cancer and that they can't afford it. But then they manage it, and she is excited like a horse. So then, just a few days before they head off to Amsterdam, at midnight, Hazel is sent to the ICU for an apparent pleural effusion, which was filling up her lungs with some liquid thing which was suffocating her. Gus hears about this and runs to the emergency, and she is fine now, but her doctors are greatly concerned now that she will not be able to make it to the Amsterdam trip after her operation. But then her parents talk it out with the doctors, and they allow her to go on the Amsterdam trip. So then Gus, Hazel, and her mom all go to Amsterdam and check into the hotel, and the mom stays in the hotel while Gus and Hazel go in a restaurant to eat dinner, and they have champagne. Like seriously, I mean, like according to the book, Hazel is 16 and Gus is like 17 or something, but why are they drinking champagne unless in Amsterdam you have to be at least 16 to drink champagne? Like, it just seems kind of off. Or maybe they look so much like adults that they did not even ask them for an ID. Like, it just seems off, but that's just a minor nitpick by me. Let's continue on with the plot. So then they realize that Peter Van Houten actually paid for their champagne and dinner. And then at dinner, Gus expresses his love to Hazel, but she does not really react. She's like, oh, okay, you love me. And then the next day, they go to meet Peter Van Houten in his big apartment, but they get shocked when they realize that Peter Van Houten is nothing but a drunk person, and he constantly makes fun of Hazel's cancer, and she gets offended. Like, I can understand why she gets offended. Over here, William Dafoe, the actor who's playing Peter Van Houten, is really like a jerk to Hazel, and she storms out in disappointment and anger, and then she goes with Gus and Peter's assistant to the Anne Frank house, which was a place where they hid during World War II. Over there, Hazel can't carry her oxygen tank up the stairs, and she can't take an elevator since, there's no elevator there. It's a building from the 1940s. That time elevators were not really that strong. So then she struggles, and she manages to carry her 100-pound or something oxygen bag up the stairs, and over there they share their first kiss and the audience claps. So then after their first kiss, they go to the hotel and they start making love in their hotel room. And then the next day, Gus has some sad news. He confesses to her that he went to the hospital and revealed that his cancer is returning and he only has a few days left to live. This makes her incredibly sad, and they try to spend as much time as possible together. And they go back to Indiana, and his health just worsens. Like, he lands himself in the ICU again, and he only has like a week or something of his life left, and so then he does not want Isaac, who I forgot to mention from the support group, is a one-eyed guy who just had surgery, and now he's a complete blind person. And of course Hazel is going to be there. Go there, and they have a pre-funeral speech about him. And then, guess what, guys? This is where the sad part comes. This is where everyone in the theater cried. So, after Gus dies 8 days later, a very depressed Hazel Grace goes to his funeral, and she is shocked, like literally shocked, to see that the same drunk person, Peter Van Houten, the same guy who kicked them out of his apartment, at his funeral. Like, I thought he was like a drunk person, he didn't care about anyone, but I thought, wait, why is he here? And then we learned that before his death, Gus and Peter were talking with each other through email about continuing the book that he left incomplete, which drove them crazy in the first place. But she got angry even before he told her the conclusion, and she tells him to get out of the funeral, and he gets very sad and just leaves. A few days later, after talking with Isaac, she finds a piece of paper that he gave to her, but she crumped, and it tells heard about the chapter that Gus requested Peter to write to make her happy, and then she accepts. She's no longer sad, and she's happy again, and she lives her life in confidence, and then the story just ends. So, VedantNetwork fans, here is my first friend, Paige, who will give us opinions about the film. So, Paige, what do you think of the film? Like, what was the most touching scene?
I think when they met, because that's obviously the best part, duh.
Yeah, so...
Because, if they didn't meet, then none of the movie would have happened.
Yeah, have you ever read the book before?
Yeah.
So, what do you think of the movie? Is it spectacular?
It's spectacular, actually, because my favorite actress is in it, too.
Shailene Woodley.
Yes.
So, what do you think of the moments between Gus and Hazel?
Yeah, they're very good. They are a perfect match, huh?
Yeah. What do you think of the humor implied in this movie?
Very good. I love that movie.
What's your favorite scene of the movie?
What is my favorite scene?
Yeah.
I don't know, I like a lot of them. What's your favorite scene?
My favorite scene is when they throw eggs on the car.
Oh, I love that one, and then she comes outside.
Yeah, and how were you feeling when Gus died 8 days later?
I cried. It was so sad.
Yeah, everyone cried in the theater where I was.
Yeah, that was so sad, wasn't it?
Yeah. Would you say this is an improvement over the book?
I don't know. Both were really good. The book had more detail, but I like the movie because the actress and the actor are really good.
Yeah. Would you like to say anything else about the book?
I don't know. The author's really good. I read Looking for Alaska. That's another one in his series, so check out more of his books.
Okay, I'll recommend my fans to that too. And just let you know, the movie is coming on DVD in September.
Woohoo!
So, anything else?
Nope. Except peace out. VedantNetwork. Love ya.
You too.
Bye.
Bye. Guys, that was my friend Paige, who obviously has read the book before, and she recommends me that I give it a spectacular score. Now let's jump to my other friend Ali, who will join us right now. So, VedantNetwork fans, this is my friend Ali, who is also a fan of The Fault in Our Stars, and she will give us her opinion about the book. The movie. So, Ali.
Hi.
Welcome to VedantNetwork.
Thanks. I'm your biggest fan.
Thanks. So, I'm gonna ask the exact same questions I asked Paige, okay?
Okay.
So, what do you think of the story?
It's such a cute story.
So, what was the most touching part of the story, according to you?
Well, oh my gosh, I cried so much. Did you cry?
Yeah, everyone in the theater cried when he died.
Okay, it's okay. Big girls cry. Big girls don't cry.
So,
it's like my fave movie.
So, would you recommend the movie or the book to the fans?
Well, I don't read, so I never read the book, but,
So, do you think anyone who hasn't read the book will be confused or something?
No, I didn't read the book, and I was perfectly fine, but I wish you would have been there.
Yeah, so what do you think of the humor? Like, is it perfectly balanced by the serious tone? There are a few scenes like the egg throwing scene.
Oh yeah, that was so funny, OMG.
So, what do you think of the main cast?
The boy?
Yeah, what do you think of the characters of the story?
The boy is really cute, really attractive, but, not as attractive as you. He's great.
So, for example, if you were at that pre-funeral, what would you say to the Gus character?
Hey, Gus, you're super cute. Maybe if you come back, we can hook up sometime.
Okay. Have you ever been to Amsterdam before?
No.
Me neither.
Well, actually, this one time I went to Amsterdam to, buy you a gift, but then I lost the gift.
You didn't need to buy me a gift.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, so I think that's about all the questions, so...
Okay.
Bye.
I love VedantNetwork.
So, after what my friend Ali said, it's time that I score. No, it's time I score this movie. So, recently, I have revised the way I score these movies. And now instead of on a 1 to 10 scale, I'm going to review in 3 different categories. One of them is spectacular. One of them is spectacular, which means this movie is awesome and I recommend it to anyone. Meh means like it had some good things, some bad things. It's not that bad, but it's not that good either. And raw-tacular means this movie is awful. So what do you think I will give this movie? Of course, I will give this a spectacular movie rating. This movie it's the perfect movie to watch on Valentine's Day. Like, this movie is so warm-hearted. And there are a few goofy moments, but it doesn't take away much from the story. Like, it is a wonderful movie, and I would recommend it for anyone of all ages. Like,